I raised my son to protect people, and last month I had to throw him out of my house for becoming the exact kind of man I spent my whole childhood fighting. I grew up in a home where my father used his fists like punctuation. My mother flinched at the sound of his keys in the door. I had 2 younger brothers and a sister, and as the oldest, I learned early how to stand in front of them when he came home angry. I took hits meant for them more times than I can count. The day I finally got big enough to grab his wrist and not let go, the whole house changed. He never touched any of us again, and a few years later, a different man's complaint put him in a cell where he belonged. We moved 3 states away, and I swore my own kids would never know that kind of fear. For a long time, they didn't. My son grew up steady and gentle. He married a girl named Dahabo, who I loved from the moment I met her. Quiet, warm, the kind of person who remembers your coffee order and asks about your bad knee. She called me on Father's Day before my own son did. I used to tell my wife our boy had married up, and I meant it. 5 weeks ago, Dahabo showed up at my door alone. Her cheek was split and stitched, one eye swollen half shut, and she was holding her ribs like they might come loose. My first thought was a car accident. My second thought, when she couldn't meet my eyes, was something I refused to let myself finish. She told me my son did it. Not the first time either. She'd been hiding it under makeup and long sleeves for almost a year, and the only reason she came to me was that she had nowhere else that felt safe. I sat there and cried in front of this girl, then made up the spare room and told her she lived here now. No questions, no rent, no expiration date. That night, I sat in the dark, staring at my reflection in the black TV screen, and for the first time in 30 years, I felt small again. A few days later, I invited my son over for dinner. Dahabo knew. She stayed upstairs with the door shut. He walked in like nothing was wrong, hugged me, complained about traffic, and I watched his knuckles the whole time. Faint scrapes, half-healed. We ate. I asked how his wife was. He didn't even blink. "She's good. Busy with the new job," he said, and smiled. That smile was my father's smile. I put my fork down and told him I knew. I told him she was upstairs in my house with stitches in her face that he had put there. He started with the excuses. "She exaggerates. It's complicated. I'm only hearing one side." I let him talk until he ran out of air, then told him the truth as plainly as I could. He was finished. Off my will. Out of the family business his uncle and I built for him to inherit. Out of this house. Starting now. The only reason he wasn't talking to the police, I said, was that Dahabo hadn't decided yet, and if he ever put a hand on her again, I would personally make sure her brothers, her employer, and every officer in this county knew exactly what he was. I told him I'd spent my whole life making sure no man in my family would ever be a coward who hit someone smaller than him, and I had failed at the one thing I cared about most. He begged. He cried. He called me dad like it still bought him something. I opened the door and told him to leave before I forgot how to keep my own promise. It's been 5 weeks. Dahabo filed for divorce and she's still in the spare room, slowly becoming herself again. She laughed last week and I had to walk out so she wouldn't see my face. My son hasn't called. I don't know if I'll ever speak to him again. And the strange part is how much that still hurts, even now, even knowing everything I know. I keep staring at that black screen asking myself the same question. I protected the one who needed it. I lost the one I made. Am I the asshole? One production note. I swapped the source's physical fight climax for a financial/legal reckoning instead. Keeps the same abuser-made powerless protector wins payoff but stays clean for monetization. Want a male or female narrator read for this one?